Hokies and a lot of number 22s around Charlotte. This place is buzzing all day.
Kitley will win the tip. Virginia Tech in white, Iowa in black. Matilda Eck, one of the new transfers, gets it to Georgia Amor, one of the top point guards in the country, especially during last year's run to the Final Four. And it's Rose Mishaw off the mark. Offensive rebound, Kitley, and she gets the first bucket.
Stokey fronting on the post, and when the shot goes up, a shot that Iowa wants Mishaw to take. It's a great rebound by Kitley.
Kate Martin off the bounce, and the nice feed to Hannah Stokey. Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Ally. It's Amor, King, and Kitley, the returnees, and then Eck and Mishaw, the newcomers. Not a ton of depth for the Hokies. This group will get a lot of run tonight.
Well, and you play Kayla King perfectly to make her put it on the floor.
And there's the group in the starting lineup tonight for Iowa. Of course, the big loss, literally and figuratively, Monica Sonano graduating from last year's Final Four team. They are going to need their bigs to step up all year long to get them back to the Final Four. They'll throw a double, try and trap Amor, and a bump and a foul called on Caitlin Clark.
It's not. It's not a called trap over there. It's a trap that right in front of Lisa Bluter that she doesn't like to call, obviously. But you know what? I like the aggressiveness that Iowa started out in their man-to-man defense, trying to front Kitley inside, trying to keep her from catching it too deep.
Amor gets it back from Kitley, around and out. Rebounded by Martin.
This is the kind of pace we expected, Beth.
Davis gets it to Clark, drops it off for the assist, and another bucket for Stokey. The 6'2 sophomore out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, had a 22-point game in their opening win against Fairleigh Dickinson.
Hannah Stokey has great athleticism. She can play with pace. She can get up and down the floor in this transition game.
Marshall gets the steal. On the run, Davis couldn't get the finish. Big matchup here at the point with Amor and Marshall. Eck can't knock it down.
Watch Caitlin Clark get through the nail to the middle of the floor and drop it down for Stokey. When you're in the post, you have to have your hands ready because she's going to find you.
Yeah, look at the numbers. You know, everybody knows about the scoring, but she can rebound and the assists. 2 years ago, she led the country in both scoring and assists. Clark hits the three.
Too much space. 7-0 run for the Hawkeyes.
You know, that range is out to the logos, and that includes the one out at half court.
You have got to close down the space on Caitlin Clark. Watch right here. Look at that distance right there. That is too much space. Such a good job of using the bounce to escape a little bit, and Kayla King has to come out with a much longer closeout.
Again, the Iowa defense able to force the turnover. Clark this time off the bounce, and it's blocked out of bounds.
You know what, Beth? You know, you talk about the logo and the range. It's the other logo, too, usually the one in the middle of the floor that's an issue for her as well, because she's so good at playing in both logo spaces.
Off the wing, Martin trying to wrap it underneath. And Virginia Tech will get it. At 31-5 last year, the best season in school history. And what a run it was down the stretch, winning their first ACC tournament championship and then reaching the Final Four. And Amor was probably their most valuable player through that stretch.
She definitely had herself a coming out party in terms of the national scene, right? Because everyone talked about other point guards in the ACC, but if you followed Virginia Tech's progress through the season, you knew Amor was capable of leading a team deep into the tournament. I'm going to tell you right now, next time down the floor, Virginia Tech is going to go inside to Kitley.
Backdoor for Clark, and a hold out on the perimeter.
Really good job of moving without the ball.
Lisa Bluter now in her 24th season at Iowa, 40th season coaching college basketball. She is 5 wins away from 500 during her Iowa tenure. She's the dean of the Big Ten coaches. Clark hard off the back iron. Davis does the same.
I think I'd be patient right here and wait for Kitley.
The skip for 3, and they open up the ball game just 1 for 7. Kenny Brooks on the other side for the Hokies, now in his 8th year. Grabbed that #1 seed for the first time in last year's NCAA tournament. He was talking about how this atmosphere feels like the Final Four. That's the kind of buzz and the anticipation. And another foul drawn by Clark.
It's so tough the way Iowa spreads the floor because you can't come off and help off of any of their shooters on the court. They've got 4 3-point shooters on the floor around Stolke. And they do a great job of spacing. Watch right here. Look how wide open the lane is, Beth. It's hard to pinch from the weak side because if you pinch from the weak side, she's going to kick it to the corner for a 3.
And that's the second foul on Kayla King. So they are down a starter as Stolke walks with it.
Wenzel, the redshirt freshman, #1 in white, comes off the bench. As you mentioned earlier, this is not a deep Virginia Tech team.
Kitley gets a touch. Well, that turnaround is so good.
It's deadly. And it's really hard to close the space on that step, the way she reverse pivots away from the basket. That's why you got to wait for her, Beth. Wait for her to get down there.
Off the crossover, Clark had it knocked loose. How about Kitley starting out 2 for 2?
I mean, watch where she catches, and then look at the footwork. One-on-one, they do a great job of clearing everybody out. She does a terrific job of turning over that right shoulder.
Looking for 3 off the mark from Marshall. Offensive rebound kept alive by Sydney Falter. Clark wants a screen. Gets a switch and a double, and rewards the screener.
That is a beautiful executed play, and hard again to help from the weak side.
Virginia Tech, Kitley's 2 for 2. The rest of the Hokies have not hit a bucket yet. Let's revisit Caitlin Clark's vision.
Watch this, Beth. Kitley's going to hedge, and when she hedges, look at Stolke to the rim. Help late on the weak side, and it's a bucket for the Hawkeyes.
Out tonight here in Charlotte. What an atmosphere.
It's incredible.
For a November game on a neutral site.
Yeah, neither of these teams from the state of North Carolina, and the Charlotte Sports Foundation, led by Danny Morrison and his team, have done a fantastic job. Unprecedented, Beth. Both these teams got a payout of $150,000 to play in this game. The first 50 years of Title IX was about opportunity. I want the next 50 to be about investment. Mm-hmm. This is a perfect example on a beautiful stage in November with 2 top 10 teams and 2 All-Americans. Both teams with aspirations to go back to the Final Four.
And to Ally for being a sponsor of this tip-off. And the venue has been spectacular. The crowd is out. Now the 2 teams just looking to score a little bit. A slow start for both sides as Clark drives and scoops it up and in.
I think that would be 3 steps over there.
She has scored or assisted now in their last 9 points.
Kenny Brooks jumped off the bench. That's the highest I've ever seen his vertical. And he used to have one back in the day.
Amor back to Kitley. And a struggle here for the Hokies early on. 2 for 10 in this supercharged environment. Clark, early heat check. Back out to Caitlin.
You got to close that space. High hands. Here comes the hedge by Kitley in the roll.
That is twice. That is twice they have beaten the high hard hedge.
It's not going to work. I don't think it's going to work. They might have to change their ball screen coverage because that's 2 easy layups for Iowa.
Debbie, they hoping the size of Kitley would help in that?
I thought at 6'6" it would be something different, hedging on a ball screen that Caitlin has not seen.
Yep.
Well, guess what? She's seen it twice now and she scored.
She's read it. Amor, and finally another one of the Hokies gets on the board. Clark, that is already the 3rd foul she has drawn on a Tech defender here in the first quarter.
Watch this right here. I think that might have been a couple steps.
That's NBA. But it is an NBA arena.
It is, yes. And then off the hedge, right, she wraps it around. You know, she told me one time that she loves making those passes where she can pass the ball from the outside of her body back inside, those wraparound passes with her right hand.
Already with 3 assists. Marshall, you got to get out on the shooter. Kitley with the rebound.
So the game started out fast, both teams up and down. Now Virginia Tech needs to slow it down because they have to take advantage of 6'6" on the block. I don't think they've done that yet.
Foul on Molly Davis. You cannot have both hands on the ball handler. That's her first.
And now with Sharon Goodman on the floor at 6'3", she would be the most experienced player in Lisa Bluter's system. She's been there the longest. But she didn't get a lot of time because she was playing behind Monica Sinano.
3 ball is good.
And with Kitley on the top of the floor facilitating in that little dribble handoff action, that is tough to guard as well.
Clark on the drive around and out. So you got Clark, who had the most threes in the country last year. Amor had the 2nd most threes in the country last year. On the drive, up and in, and one. Carly Wenzel.
Watch this right here. It's a great job moving without the ball by Amor. She runs her defender, Gabby Marshall, right into Kitley, and then on a closeout, a great attack by Wenzel. A 7-0 run for the Hokies.
So a good response from Virginia Tech, and now one of their starters at Iowa in trouble. That's Molly Davis with 2. And Wenzel to the line, a redshirt freshman from San Antonio. So you've got all the experience in the starting lineup, and then almost everybody coming off the bench is a rook for the Hawkeyes.
Both teams.
Virginia Tech, yep. Clark with Eck defending. Can't knock that down. 2nd chance and a whistle and a foul. Caitlin has opened up 2 for 8 so far from the floor. They've been getting a hand in her face. That'll be the first on Kitley.
And I like the way Joe Vasili, a veteran official, refereed that, because now flopping is in the game. And instead of calling a flop or faking the official, he just gave her just a slight little reminder instead of making a big deal about it.
Well, the new flopping foul does come with 1 warning, and then a 2nd time it's a technical foul.
He didn't give an official warning. He gave a professional warning, I would say.
Well said. Eck. Kitley. Knocked loose.
Well, Kenny Brooks is an excellent play caller, but right now, when the ball has gone through Kitley is when they've been able to score, right? Whether she catches it on the block or she's facilitating on the top of the floor.
Eck aired that one. Now, this is a new environment for Virginia Tech after the success of last season. They are trying to win a top 5 game against a top 5 opponent for just the 2nd time ever. Clark trying to make it tough on him. That one-handed runner goes.
When you play Caitlin Clark, if she goes right, the percentage of her going all the way to the rim is much higher than when she goes left. She loves that step back going left.
Two-man game, Amor, Kitley, Georgia steps back and hits it. That's a shot she was working on today in shoot-around.
And an excellent screen by Kitley.
Clark, logo three won't go. And now a chance for Tech to grab the lead after a shaky start. They have settled down nicely.
They're clearing out for a little two-man game. Go right back to the same play, Beth. I like it. Don't overcoach it. No. It works. Run it again.
We got two potential All-Americans working on that play together. Let's see, will Clark just hold for one? There's about a 2-second differential here, shot and game clock.
Watch for Kat Martin on a little slip here. There she is.
They swing it around, a falter for three, way off. And that's a shot clock violation, so Virginia Tech will have some time here. Good defensive set by the Hokies, made Clark give it up.
Back in for the Hawkeyes now, number 24, Gabby Marshall. Caitlin Clark.
Amor, good if it goes. Got it!
Hey!
Oh, something brewing tonight. Something going on tonight in the Queen City. Amor, half court. Message delivered. Game on. 14-2 Hokie run. The ends. Exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ally.
This day get any better. Are you kidding me?
A fantastic game earlier. Tennessee and Florida State. The Noles win it late. And Georgia Amor, that half-court buzzer beater, capping off a 14-2 run. And they are out in front of Iowa as we start the second quarter.
Oh, and the fireworks are just getting started, Beth. What a terrific first quarter. I think an adjustment for Virginia Tech. They got to play a little bit more through Kitley. They got to take advantage of her out there, even though Georgia has the hot hand right now.
Yeah, she's got 11 points. Kitley was 2 of 3 from the floor. Caitlin Clark, 7 points, 3 assists in that first stanza.
Running 5 out, a lot of motion, a lot of pass and cut right here. Late into the shot clock, a ball screen.
Martin on the drive. Good body control to keep the shot blocker away.
Great job by Lisa Bluter's team coming off the timeout. Good execution.
And there you see what Georgia has been able to do so far. The rest of the Hokies just 3 for 10, and 2 of those are Kitley's. Another steal for Iowa. Clark. And now Martin again off the bounce, strong to the rim.
You over-penetrate with Kitley waiting for you, then you're going to have to alter your shot because she's there to block it.
She may have gotten a fingertip on that one.
They're really good in this high ball screen action right here, Kitley and Amor.
There they go again. Shot clock winding down, and the 3 ball is good from Wenzel.
How about the confidence in Wenzel?
Biggest lead for Tech here in the first half after they fell behind early. Throwing that trap again at Clark.
When they switched it up, it was a hedge. Now it's a trap.
Marshall. Well, this is one of the keys, right, for Iowa. You've got to have people knock down shots to take some pressure off of Caitlin.
And your ball screen coverage. Under, over, hedge, trap, ice jam, switch, drop. There's only 8 different ways you can guard a ball screen.
Only?
With a variation.
Don't get the bounce there for Sumiel.
Good job of corralling Caitlin Clark up the floor. You have to shadow her, and you have to find her early.
spin around Eck, and a foul. And that's 2 on Eck. So both she and Kayla King in foul trouble trying to defend Caitlin Clark.
I mean, I'm impressed with Wenzel. Didn't get a lot of minutes, not a lot of PT last year. And then the foul right there on the drive by Clark.
Hokie fans didn't like that one. Karis Baker will check into the lineup for Virginia Tech. Let's see if they get Kitley a touch here. Hasn't seen the ball the last few trips up the floor. They got her posted. There she is. The dig down from Clark to knock it loose. The help defense for the Hawkeyes. Stokey. Caitlin, good change of direction, and then fouled on the shot, and Clark will go back to the line.
Really nice job of rejecting that Stokey screen. Yeah, because she's so quick off that first step and that bounce. How many fouls is that she's drawn on the Hokies now?
That's at least 5, and actually they're going to say that was before the shot, so no free throws there. Marshall to Martin on the drive. Count it!
Iowa here in the second quarter has done an excellent job of reversing sides of the floor in offense, right? A little more patient in moving the ball. This is a great take on a late closeout.
So the grad student from Edwardsville, Illinois, gets the three-point play. You know, we asked Kate earlier today, why did you decide to come back? And she just laughed at us and looked at Caitlin Clark and said, why wouldn't I come back?
Looks like a lot of fun to me. Stokey really battling to try to stay on top of that Kitley matchup in the post. Not behind, on top.
Amor off the cross, sidestep, 3, got it!
I mean, come on. Do we have 2 better players in the country than Amor and Clark at the step back 3? I don't think so. Look at this pass.
She's got 14 now, and an offensive foul going to be called on Martin.
Georgia Amor is what we call in a shooter's rhythm. Rejects the screen on the top, creates separation off the bounce, and then sticks it with a step back. It's beautiful.
How about that postseason, Debbie? She averaged over 22 a game, and in 8 games, 6 of those, she was better than 20 points, well above her regular season average.
Now, Kitley right now, Beth, is getting in a stance. She is posting up. She is looking for the ball.
And that's the second foul on Stokey. One of the things the Hawkeyes do have, Debbie, fouls to give on the front line. About 15 to 20 of them if necessary. Amor on the drive and the kick. They've got Kitley isolated on the other side, and here she is. Backing into the lane, and a foul.
You got to stay vertical on that.
So Kitley to the free throw line, her 58 double-doubles in her career, the most amongst active players, as she is now back for her 5th season. This, by the way, tips off a huge weekend ahead. How about this triple header on Sunday? Maryland, South Carolina, UConn, NC State, and Indiana, Stanford on ABC and ESPN.
We got the late game.
Big Sunday afternoon. How about Tara Vanderveer, by the way, inching ever closer to Mike Krzyzewski's all-time wins record in college basketball history.
I think she needs maybe 16 more after tonight.
They picked up a win yesterday, went 1-0. Martin, they're going to call her for her second offensive foul.
Martin Clayton with a spin right here. Ooh, that's a tough angle right there. How about this angle? I didn't see much there.
Yeah, the first one definitely used the arm to push off. That one did not appear to be such. Amor, again, creating space off the dribble. And knocked out of bounds by Clark.
Caitlin Clark a little bit quiet here in the second quarter.
Just 3 for 10 in the ball game. 1 of 5 from deep.
How good has Georgia Amor been early? I mean, she has set the tone. She's got it. She's an incredible little athlete. I asked her today if she was in the pipeline for the Australian national team. She said, nope.
Not yet, I would think.
How can that be?
With the Paris Olympics coming up next summer?
Well, she's been gone for a while. You know, she's been over here hanging out with the Hokies.
Amor. No. Offensive board, weak side, and it's blocked. And here comes Clark, who doesn't have a bucket now in over 5 minutes. And missed out on an assist there as Goodman missed the layup.
If you run ahead of the ball in transition, Caitlin will find you. And when you catch, it's a tough angle to catch.
Got to finish those opportunities. Count it! How about Carly Wenzel so far in the first half? ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ally. Whatever you're saving for. 8 points thus far. Amor, spectacular, 14 for her. And the three-point shooting has not been there for the Hawkeyes. Clark has yet to score a field goal here in this second quarter.
And that is about to change this play up the floor. She's going to, Lisa Bluter's going to run something for her.
Coming out of the timeout.
Yes, absolutely.
After the Hawkeyes advanced to their first national championship game last year, falling to LSU in the final. The school record 31 wins, and
yep, she's off the ball.
Ran their way through the Big Ten tournament to win the championship. Clark back to the free throw line. This was an Iowa team last year, scored 87 points per game and shot better than 50% on the season. That win over South Carolina in the national semis, first time in school history, they beat a number 1. And as you can see, they were the first Big Ten team to get back to the finals since Michigan State in 2005. And that Big Ten is looking solid, certainly in the preseason polls, with the likes of these guys at Ohio State. We'll see Indiana over the weekend at Stanford on Sunday night.
Iowa led the nation in field goal percentage 3 consecutive years at over 50%. And they led the nation in scoring last year at 87 points a game.
Interestingly enough, tonight is the only ranked opponent on their non-conference schedule as of right now. Their tests would be coming in league play, and there's Clark again, one-handed right down the right side.
Was there any question she was going to be taking the next couple of shots? I didn't have any doubt.
I don't believe so. I think a survey of the folks in the building said yes.
And here's a chance in transition again. You better get on her quickly because it's going up. There it is.
There it goes. And doesn't get the bounce. She was looking for a foul there, doesn't get the whistle. And we are under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. In front of a record-breaking crowd in the state of North Carolina. And we've got a whistle and a foul off the ball. That's on Karis Baker.
See, she's running right up the backside of Samiel. And that is hard to guard in transition. And then by the time you pick her up, it's too late. She's already by you. That's smart.
Leading scorer in the country 2 of the last 3 seasons.
That's the first time we've seen the horn set. And with a shooter in a corner, when Caitlin turns the corner going right, you can't help off that strong side corner because she's going to kick it for a 3.
Oh, and that's the 3rd personal foul on Carly Wenzel. So Carly had 8 points in 11 minutes, but now will retreat to the bench.
See, now Virginia Tech goes big.
Hey, we got more women's college basketball available this opening week. Sunday, a pair of featured matchups on ESPN+. Plus, Notre Dame back in action, as is Iowa. Sunday on ESPN+.
Let's see how this big lineup runs offensively. I would go right back to Kitley and Amor in some 2-man action.
Yeah, 6 unanswered for Iowa to get back within a point. A 6-0 Clark run, as a matter of fact. Kitley, and now Caitlin with a rebound.
Goodman closing that space on the catch by Kitley.
Marshall, they get out on her, force her to run off that 3-point line. Clark coming off the screen. Steps away from Amor and knocks it down. 8 in a row for Caitlin Clark. And Iowa's back in front.
How long was that scoring drought for Caitlin Clark? About 5 minutes? Forget about it now. Wow.
Kitley gives it back out. So far, Iowa has made the others, besides Kitley, take the shots. Goodman, rejected.
Watch Caitlin Clark right here. She knows she's got a smaller defender on her, and Amor, once she gets her that deep, she just fades away. Terrific footwork.
She's gotten stronger in this offseason. They've tried to get her to be a little more patient off the ball, wait for the screens to come help her out. Got a little hot on that pass. Oh, what an offseason it was for her. She's playing golf with PGA pros. She's throwing out first pitches at the Iowa Cubs. She's hanging out at the Iowa Speedway.
She had her own bobblehead night. She's got the marching band at Iowa, creating a halftime show with her.
Not even to mention Jake from State Farm. I mean, what do you call her money making for the good of the game?
Clarkonomics?
Clarkonomics, yes.
Clarkonomics. That's what this game is. This game is Clarkonomics. Why do you think all these people are here?
They estimate close to $10 million just from this game to the Charlotte area from the fans that have come into town. And over 15,000 of them in the building tonight. Marshall, unattended. They'll have another possession. Clark, way outside. I would have brought the roof down. Marshall will try for 3, and that won't go.
We're going to get a 4th opportunity? No. Good hustle by Sumiel.
Just 1 of 14 from outside the line here in the first half. And now Virginia Tech can go back in front. And why not? Amor.
She is so good in that high ball screen action.
The response for Iowa?
It's a rim-running team, Beth.
Final minute. Georgia Amor with 16 here in the first half in 19 minutes. And is this going to be on Marshall trying to work her way around the Kitley screen? First on Gabby.
So you play Elizabeth Kitley on the top of the floor and drop coverage. So the further out that screen comes, her defender is in the lane. And so when you set a good screen and you come off that screen, that is really hard to guard. That's why Amor is just eating them up there. But you know what? It's not just Iowa. Georgia Amor has done that to all opponents. You can know what they're going to do. You can understand the scout. You can try to mix up your coverages. But when you're that good and can make shots, forget about it.
Clark goes right at the basket. Count it. A shot at a 3-point play, and because they went quickly, a shot at a late 2 for 1.
2 for 1. It's just really good clock management and awareness by Clark.
And draws the second foul on Amor. A rare miss for Caitlin. She now is up to 18 points here in the first half.
I think it's been a quiet 18.
Off the double, the takeaway.
She'll hold it for one here.
Kierbach, oh, she gave it up, and Clark can't believe it.
Yep.
She needed that last shot to end the half. Decision making,
right.
So critical.
Mark that down, because that could be a factor later.
Gotta know scoring time. Amor, pass picked off, and maybe they will get her one more look. No, not in time. Big first half for the All-America candidates. 18 for Clark, 18 for Amor, and a one-point game as we get it back to Nicole and Rebecca.
Guys, thanks.
Clark doing her thing, Georgia Amor doing her thing. The two All-America candidates really going at it.
It's a guards game, right? I mean, 6'6" Elizabeth Kitley, the back-to-back ACC Player of the Year, hasn't got a lot of touches on the inside, but it's been Amor who has been playing off this two-man ball screen action right here. The late switch of the angle by Kitley gives Amor space to be able to knock down that triple. And then for Caitlin Clark, see, this is what I love about her vision. Off the rebound, she is going to run right up the backside of Sumiel. Look at Sumiel pointing behind her saying, stop the ball. That is a really hard thing to do in transition. And Caitlin Clark gets all the way to the rim because she sees the floor so well.
And how about that for Iowa? The lead, despite, is horrendous the right word? 1 of 15.
Uncharacteristic.
Three-point shooting probably will change in this second half. Top 10 showdown, Iowa and Virginia Tech, a pair of teams that were at the Final Four together last year and coming off the best seasons in their school's history a year ago. And they are amongst the short list of frontrunners to get back as we are underway on the road to Cleveland for the Final Four this year. Clark, the rebound, the run out, looking for Martin, got her filling a lane, and that's another missed layup in transition for Iowa.
Well, Iowa has changed their ball screen coverage here to start the second half. Now they're hard hedging on all those ball screens, and that's Kayla King, who didn't play many minutes in the first half with foul trouble. She's had 3 shots that have been inside the arc.
And she is still down at the other end of the floor and looks like she is bleeding from her mouth. And they will stop play. Oh, that took one from her teammate. And that's...
She crashed right into her.
Yep. So that's King crashing into Kitley. So it is Elizabeth Kitley who is getting the attention right now of their athletic trainers. And I think the officials will go ahead and look at the replay just to make sure it was not an opponent. And it was, in fact, the teammate that ran into Kitley. And as Kitley runs back towards the locker room, we will take a break back to Charlotte in a moment. Kayla King, and it will be her forearm that slams into the face of her teammate, Elizabeth Kitley. They were clearing blood out on the sideline. She then went back into the tunnel there, and they were looking at, looked like her cheek, and then further back towards the locker room. So Kitley right now is out of the ball game early in this third quarter. And Kenny King and the Hokies will move forward without her for the time being. And now she is coming back out of the tunnel and running right towards the scorer's table. And Kenny says, well, let's put the brakes on just a second. And they're going to let her catch her breath there before she returns all the way to the floor.
We're going to get a look at the freshman Clara Strack, 6'5" freshman out of Buffalo, number 13 in white.
She's a top 100 recruit. One of 6 newcomers when you include Wenzel, the redshirt freshman who was out last year, and now Kitley already set to check back into the game. And there's Strack trying to tip it to herself, scrapping for the loose ball, and gets another possession. Matilda Eck can't knock it down. And a foul going for the rebound, and it's going to be on King, and it will be her third.
Yeah, she was holding Molly Davis on the weak side. And Kayla King just hasn't been able to get it going, but I think Iowa's done an excellent job on their personnel scout. Watch on the weak side right here. You're going to see... Ooh. You didn't see much from that replay,
that
honestly.
Might have been a 50-50 ball right there.
Loose ball.
Well, King only played 4 minutes in the first half and now out early here in the second. And Kitley back into the game. Stokey goes right at her.
It's like
missing gimmies.
It's a timing play right there, and you got to finish that.
Eck on the drive, left hand.
Good job by Eck to use her body to shield Clark off.
Clark going to town. Hard off the backboard.
That's 3 right-handed layups that Iowa has missed in this third quarter. And Clark a little slow to get up.
So Virginia Tech up 1. 8 lead changes already in this game.
Well, Virginia Tech scouted that play out very well today at shoot-around.
Lob over the top. Stokey with the catch and the finish.
And that's one of the counters. If you don't get the curl on the inbound and there's a switch, it's a great read. Stokey had Amor on her.
And a 9th lead change of the night. Kitley, step back, short. 2 for 7 now on the night for Liz. Clark. And for Caitlin Clark, that is now the 9th foul she has drawn on a Hokie tonight.
I mean, watch the way she changes her pace in this drive right here into the defense.
And Wenzel shaken up on the play. She also has just picked up her 4th personal.
Well, you have to obtain legal guarding position first, and I'm not sure she did.
That's a point of emphasis this year. Obtain and maintain.
There's a lot of Hokies in here that did not like it.
Clark 6 of 8 tonight at the line.
But you know that play right there by Caitlin, that's the physicality that she's added to her game. Like, she can withstand a little bump now. You can't bump her off her line as easily as you could her freshman year.
Eck. Boy, both sides have a real tough time dialing it in from downtown. A combined 6 for 34.
I got Eck at 0 for 5 from the three-point line.
Offensive foul on Stokey, setting the screen, and that's her 3rd.
This crowd has been entertained at such a high level that they have a little dip right now. There's a little dip in the crowd.
So Stokey is out, Goodman is on. I don't believe we've seen Addie O'Grady yet tonight.
We have not.
For Iowa. Samil to Amor, and now Kitley. Elizabeth will get another touch. Triple team, kicks it back out, and there's the 3-ball. Karis Baker, the freshman out of West Hartford, Connecticut. Clark answers.
You know, Goodman did such a good job of slipping out of that screening action, and that's all the space that Caitlin Clark needs. She doesn't always like to use the screen. Sometimes she rejects it, but those post players for Iowa are really good at slipping.
Clark now with 23. Iowa able to keep it alive. Look at how quickly Clark gets out in transition. 3-on-2. Spins. Short. Amor into the lane. Switches to the right hand. Up and in. She's got 20. I think the players sensed the lull in the crowd, too, and now they're heating it up again.
A little fatigue on both sides, too. Slow down a little.
Kitley, after getting nutmegged, able to rally and get the ball. Soccer term.
I like this action right here. Shooter's in the corner. Kitley slips out of it.
Amor for 3. Clark. And now it's Molly Davis. Marshall.
This is where Clark's being patient off the ball, right? So she waits her timing to cut to the basketball.
Fouls on Baker. Her second.
Nothing lights up the building more than this right here. To the left, to the step back, and then Amor turning a corner.
Guys, we got a nail biter. Under 5 to go in the third in front of this massive crowd, the largest to ever watch a women's regular season game in the state of North Carolina. And we talk about the growth of the game and the significance of what women's basketball has seen happening in the last several years. These schools aren't paying to come here. They are being paid to show up here.
That's a first. That's never happened. And you can credit the Charlotte Sports Foundation and Danny Morrison and his team, and Andrea Brimmer with Ally.
There's probably a lot of cities around the country right now watching this thinking, hey, maybe this is something we ought to consider next fall.
Why not?
Yes.
I mean, what an incredible investment, right? And the Charlotte Sports Foundation is putting the investment back in. This court is a brand new court. This is not repurposed from something else. They built this specifically for this event.
Tech gets the block on Clark. Amor, pretty move. Swing it around the perimeter. Eck, short. They'll clean it up and get the bucket. And for what we've been watching, back to last year's national championship, LSU, Iowa, nearly 10 million people watching. Maybe we can break that 10 this year. Deep three, Caitlin Clark.
It's a good thing we measured the logo today, Beth.
That's 22. That's probably a 25-footer right there.
At least.
If not farther out.
I was going to go 28.
Yeah. Always round up. Makes for a better story. There's going to be an offensive foul here on the Hokies. That's the 10th foul now that Clark is drawing.
Offensive foul number 20.
Yeah, 28's a good number.
Look at that. We measured it today. It's part of the preparation.
We got out the Clarkometer. It's all part of Clarkology, the study of Caitlin Clark's range.
And all of it falls under, there we are,
at shoot-around today.
Clarkonomics, which is part of what this game is. Yeah,
so
we
somebody start a GoFundMe page so Debbie can get a tape measure, please.
6 feet isn't long enough to measure Caitlin Clark's range. But I've had that tape measure for 20 years, so.
But how about what we're watching here, what we saw in Paris for the first time, South Carolina, Notre Dame, playing over in Europe. The star power in the game right now with Clark and Angel Reese. Paige Beckers is back for Connecticut. I mean, for a lot of us women that, played years ago, maybe in front of our parents and a few friends, this is pretty goosebumping to see these kinds of environments now. Early in a season and only better things to come.
Little girls and little boys wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys all over the city today. And a lot of Hokie fans. There's a lot of partying going on out there before the game.
Bierbach knocks down the free throw, and Iowa goes up 4.
Beth, I was at the game in the football stadium, 55,646. I've never seen anything. I mean, obviously nobody's seen anything like it. It was incredible.
For an exhibition.
It's a great job by DePaul to show up and compete.
Clark behind the back, into the lane, left-handed off glass for 2 more. 26 for Caitlin. It's a 7-0 Hawkeye run. And a foul on the drive will get Amor free throws.
When you can put a defender in on their hip and her ability to switch sides of the floor in transition. Off the bounce is hard to guard, but so is defensive transition. That is just a great take, and that's what I'm talking about with Caitlin. You can't knock her off her line now, Beth. She's much stronger. She plays the game on balance. She tries to stay on 2 feet. Her upper body is stronger, and she's mentally tough.
Amor hits a couple of free throws. And already above her average. Last year, she finished second behind Maddie Siegrist in the scoring race nationally. But twice before, she has been the leading scorer in the country. Feuerbach, count that one.
That's called picking on the freshman. Lisa Bluter's staff right there, they called that from the bench. This is a set play. Usually Caitlin Clark is the one turning the corner right there. That is an excellent job by the bench by Iowa.
4th foul on Baker. Lisa Bluter and her staff, they will go home to sell out crowds for all of their games. Season tickets sold out. They're selling out games on the road. Hawkeye fans trying to go watch them play because they can't see them at home.
And that's part of the Clarkonomics on the road, right? Big Ten schools are filling up their tickets. They want to see Caitlin Clark.
They are the preseason favorites in the Big Ten in front of Ohio State, Indiana, and Maryland.
That league's loaded this year. Those 4 teams you just mentioned. And we're going to get a good look at Indiana this weekend.
Goodness. Hawkeyes have Tech in trouble. Double-digit lead.
First you turn the corner, then you get the defense leaning. Nice footwork to clear some separation.
It's no more. A 13-2 run over the last 2 minutes for Iowa. Caitlin Clark leading the way with 28. And Clark, 9 buckets. The rest of the Hawkeyes, 10 tonight.
And I'm going to say that this is a quiet 28 for Caitlin so far, right? It hasn't been a lot of threes. It's been a lot of drives to the basket. It's been free throws.
She's also got 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Kitley, it has been a struggle tonight for Elizabeth. Now just 2 for 8, 6 points, and an offensive foul going to be called on Goodman.
Offensive foul, 40.
Hey, the ACC Network has some more college basketball action for you on Sunday. Starts with the men at 2 Eastern, followed by a women's triple header featuring Louisville, North Carolina, and Duke. King, where they really need her help, in foul trouble all night, and she drills the 3.
That's the money play right there. King and Amor are really good in that action.
Let's see if they go back to Kayla, try and get her heating up a little bit.
They go right back to the same set.
Here she is. Gives it up for Kitley.
This time it's Tech coming off that action.
Drives down the lane, lefty layup.
Good job by Kenny Brooks' team. Settle his group down. Play some D, get a stop. You go from down 10 now to just down 5. You cut it in half, and just like that in 2 possessions.
And another offensive foul called on Goodman, setting the screen.
Kayla King has struggled a little bit tonight, but this action right here, she has a lot of confidence in. It's a little dribble handoff off the pin down action. So she's basically coming off 2 screens in the shoot. And when you're going to your right, and you're a right-handed shooter, that's what you want when you get your feet under your shoulders. And she does a good job of that.
Two-man game, Amor and Kitley. Georgia into the lane, fades, short. Fell off on that shot. Final seconds of this third quarter.
We're going to hold for the last shot here.
We've already seen one buzzer beater tonight. Amor got it to end the first quarter.
Boy, Eck is really playing off Clark a lot right here. Too much space.
Open look. Offensive rebound. Second chance won't go, and Kitley finally secures it.
At the end of the third quarter, the score, Iowa 50.
Clark 28, Amor 22. 10 more minutes to go in Charlotte.
In the lead, behind the play of the All-American, Caitlin Clark. Now look at this separation. It's the footwork, and look how quickly she steps back, gets her feet under her shoulders, and lets it fly. Now you better come with a little D here and close that cushion 28 feet from the basket. We measured it, so we know that's accurate. And then Clark, when you set up your three-point shooting ability and you come with a longer closeout, she can go left or right and get to the rim, and she's done that very effectively tonight.
And, of course, history could be in the offing for Caitlin. If she has a season like she had a year ago, she would reach Kelsey Plum, who is the career scoring leader in NCAA history. And Clark gets the layup out of the break and hits the 30-point mark.
It's a great call coming off the quarter break, because you know that Virginia Tech's going to ramp up their defense. You anticipate it, and you look to go back door. It's a great call.
Kitley looking for something to get her going tonight, and that might be it. Her first basket since the first quarter tonight.
Well, she knows how important it is for her to continue to work hard to post up, because she draws so much attention.
Clark got it. Back-to-back buckets for Caitlin. The start of a huge weekend for women's college basketball with our doubleheader tonight. Kitley missed a gimme. Not the second time.
And Beth, the difference for Kitley the last 2 possessions is she's not catching it in the short corner. It's
Stokey running the floor.
What great touch on that pass. But to my point is Kitley's getting deeper penetration in the paint, 2 feet in the paint, not catching it in the short corner or mid-range up the lane.
Whistle off the ball, trying to deny Kitley inside.
This is a great setup right here. You take Eck up the line, and then you back cut. It's a great timing play. And then a nice take, reading the defense. She sees everything. And then look at the touch on this. Stokey runs straight to the rim, right past the Virginia Tech defense.
Kitley spins baseline. Here comes Liz Kitley. Couple of buckets to establish herself here in the fourth. Clark, step back, good!
Money time! Is there a better closer in the game, Beth? I'm not sure.
Don't believe so. 35 now for Clark.
See, you're in drop coverage on that screen, and she's wide open.
Amor finds Eck. Hokies and Hawkeyes toe-to-toe in the fourth. Clark, offensive foul. Her second.
Drop coverage Works the D off the screen. Amor, great kick to the weak side.
Trailed by as many as 10 in that third quarter. Clark almost got the pick. Instead, it's a net 3. Follows it up. Another chance. King, good.
Here we go, baby. Here we go. They're on their feet.
And a turnover. And then Eck had it knocked loose. The breakout for Martin. Good jump stop for the finish.
Molly Davis makes that play because she hustles back and steals it away from Eck.
Samil, corner 3. Clark with the rebound.
Look at that change of pace right off the backside of Goodman.
Keeps the dribble alive, and then the bounce pass for her 6th assist.
Her vision and her read in the open floor is so good. That change of pace, that small little burst off the backside of Goodman set up that switch.
Amor bothered on the shot. They'll get another chance. Kitley going to town.
Punch for punch right here.
This is November, right? on a neutral floor, right?
16,000 people? Yeah, check.
Clark, open look. Offensive rebound. Goodman got it.
That is a big board.
Got to get out on the shooter king. 90% of her baskets are threes over the course of her career. Missed one there.
She took 4 shots inside the arc tonight. That's more than she probably did in the most. That might be a career high, actually.
Career high 2 attempts for the Archophobe. Clark again.
That is,
and Kenny Brooks says why you can't switch off of her.
you make one little mistake, just a slight off pace. She makes you pay. I mean, she just is going to make you pay.
Kitley off the ball fake. And here comes Caitlin again. Everybody gets a touch. Back to Clark. Martin, baseline, scoop, count it. And a foul. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Ally. Whatever you're saving for, we're all better off with an Ally.
National Player of the Year awards because she can pass. Yeah, she does that. How about dropping it off inside to Sharon Goodman for an easy 2? And Goodman having a presence here late. Oh, there's the 3. You know that's coming. I can give you 9.9 million reasons why we're here in Charlotte based on the rating in the Final Four last year. And how about a 38 right now with 8 boards and 6 assists? She's off her triple-double mark a little bit, but we'll give her a break on 38 points.
It's her 38th career 30-point game, tied for the most with Kelsey Plum in the last 25 seasons. Of course, she's chasing Plum's career scoring record.
Remember I said the first 28 points she scored in the game were kind of quiet? Well, the last 10 have been big because it's in money time, right? This is the fourth quarter.
This was 62-60 just a moment ago, and now they've opened up their biggest lead of the night. Amore looking for a response.
She is so good.
25 tonight for Georgia.
So tough, Amore. Can make every shot, every play, plays the game, controls the ground, plays underneath.
And an offensive foul called on the Hawkeyes.
Offensive foul, number 4,
Off the pin down action by Kitley. And that's tough to guard because Kitley gets good position inside, but Amore gets the space.
Well, Kitley picked up the dribble. Here comes Amore again.
You better have high hands on the catch.
Wenzel, good for three.
Back-to-back triples to get you back in it quickly. Now it's a 3-possession game. 2-possession game.
Clark probing. Clark fouled. And the emotion as she gets back to the free throw line.
Wenzel has done a terrific job off the bench. When Kayla King got in foul trouble in the first half, she held on. The redshirt freshman.
Hey, ESPN Films has its latest documentary, and it's Candace Parker, Unapologetic. It premieres Sunday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. The WNBA superstar's journey in her own words.
Can't wait to see that.
Under 3 minutes to go here in Charlotte. What a great start to the new season. Got some fabulous freshmen already going viral. Number 1 LSU already suffering a loss this season. The hands of Colorado.
Had some good-looking freshmen make some nice debuts, which means the game is continuing to be in good hands.
Little Juju, little Hannah, little Fawiley. Having an impact quickly. Rattled around and out. And now the Hokies have to start being mindful of that clock as well. Amore waits.
Switch on the top.
Amore, 3. Good defense there from Iowa. And now Caitlin will take her time. Under 2 to go. Clark to Marshall. I think Kenny wants a timeout to make sure he's got a quality shot coming up. They will have a couple of timeouts left. They also have the possession arrow. Neither side in the bonus just yet. Talked about a big weekend coming up in women's hoops, and that includes a triple header coming your way on Sunday. And some more star power in this one. Maryland, South Carolina, 1 Eastern on ABC, followed by UConn, NC State, and then over to ESPN for the nightcap. 2 of the top returning centers in the country at Holmes and Brink.
Don't be slipping on that Maryland team. That's a veteran team that Brenda Fries stacks up in the Big Ten. And I like Ohio State. They got an early loss in Vegas. But I think Kevin McGuff's team is a team that can make a run. That Big Ten race is going to be really fun to keep your eye on. There are legitimately 3 teams, I believe, or 4 teams, I believe, that can win. We're seeing one tonight.
That one in the Pac-12 with those 6 teams in the rankings. And, of course, the last season, it's going to be such an emotional run on the West Coast this year.
And keep in mind, the ACC sent 8 teams to the NCAA tournament last year.
King. Oh, good job by Feuerbach to not give up the 3 look. Kitley, tough catch in traffic, and a foul. And that will be the 5th on Hannah Stolke.
That is her 5th and final foul.
Lisa Bluter has a second here to decide if she wants to go big or small with her substitution. She's going to stay small for defensive purposes. No, she is going to put Sharon Goodman in.
Martin will also come on for Iowa. Foul was before the shot, so an inbound for the Hokies. Amor hits the 3.
What a quick trigger. She has been so solid.
Hokies looking for a stop. That's only their 3rd foul.
Exactly, that foul to give.
Yeah.
They got 1 more to give.
Boy, look at the fast footwork there from Amor.
You know, it's interesting. You get a foul to give. You know, go for a steal and try to knock it out of their hands. Don't just foul them.
They'll let it play. Final minute here in Charlotte. Clark deep 3. And a chance for the Hokies. And a timeout called by Virginia Tech.
Timeout to advance the ball, and Kenny Brooks wants it on our side of the floor.
Florida State, Tennessee, down to the wire earlier tonight. And now more of the same here with the Hokies and Hawkeyes. I mean, Amor's been the go-to, 28 points. Kitley has 14 points and 15 rebounds tonight for Virginia Tech.
Well, I love the action on the middle third. The flat screen or the sprint screen on the top of the floor that Amor and Kitley can operate in. But they also love that pin down action where they're coming from towards the rim up to the top of the floor for a 3. Now, I don't think you need a 3 right here. I think you can get a 2. So you take the best shot available. And Kitley has had the hot hand here in the 4th quarter. But if she can catch it really deep and get a double bury in the rim, I throw it in there.
Yeah.
And look for a direct pass out of the out of bounds, straight to Kitley on the block.
They also have the 3-point shooter, Kayla King, available. She's been out with foul trouble for a lot of the game tonight. On a 39-point performance for Caitlin Clark this evening, they've got the 4-point lead. Everybody on their feet.
There's the direct feed.
Kitley gets it back to Amor. Georgia trying to get the ball back, and does. She'll try for 3. Short, way short, and it's out of bounds. Oh, and did she get hurt on the play? May have twisted an ankle. She doesn't want the trainer to come onto the floor because she does not want to go out of the game. And is this Iowa's timeout?
Timeout, Iowa.
Yeah, just landed funny
it's a
on
cramp. She immediately looks like she grabs her calf. She says, I'm okay. That play broke up because Iowa played really good defense, Beth.
Yeah, it looks like they're rubbing out a calf cramp. Okay, so now Virginia Tech in looking to foul with still 1 more to give.
Right. That's right.
So you go with two quick ones right here? Try for the steal?
I think you got to go for a steal or a trap first.
Yeah.
See if you can get a deflection or a tip.
And, of course, Iowa wants the ball in Clark's hands. She's 8 for 11 tonight from the line. Martin and Feuerbach are the only other players that have attempted a free throw tonight.
See, and you got to foul right away again because it's a two-possession game.
And the Hokies are throwing everybody at Clark, trying to prevent her from getting this inbounds. And now Iowa... Well, actually, Joe Vasily, one of the officials, is over at the scorer's table right now.
I think .3 has to go off the clock. Did .3 go off the clock? That would be my question as to what they might be looking at on the foul. Also, Lisa Bluder changes it, Beth, too, because most of the time, Caitlin Clark is the inbounder on every out-of-bounds situation, but in this situation here, she's not inbounding the ball because she's their best free throw shooter.
Amor stays sidelined. Martin to inbound. Clark double team. They can't get it into her, and they got to call a timeout.
Yeah, that was a slow developing play for Iowa. You got to cut a lot harder than that to get open.
So Iowa will have 2 timeouts left, one for Tech, and Virginia Tech has the possession arrow.
I'm still looking to spread the floor out and cut hard to get into open space. Now, obviously, everybody knows Caitlin Clark is trying to get the ball here, but she is their best free throw shooter. She is not the decoy in this situation.
No decoy.
See, I like this. Spread the floor out. I like this set. Lisa Bluder, instead of going to the stack, spread it out. This is harder to guard.
Hokies will still commit 2 defenders to Clark here. And she's still able to get it. And there's the quick foul.
Yes, it's interesting that Kenny Brooks elected to put 2 on Clark and not guard the out-of-bounds play, right? And she still is able to shake free.
Amor able to return here. Well, even if she gets both, it's still a 2-possession game. 40 tonight. A 40-burger for Caitlin Clark. 9th of her career. Remember, she had back-to-back 40s in the NCAA tournament. First time that had ever happened. And the final timeout for the Hokies to advance in a 6-point game.
I still think for Kenny Brooks, you can get the quick 2, but they're not a team that likes to full-court press, so they might look for the 3. You know, because you have to get possession of the basketball back. You can play the foul game. But I like going for a 3 here.
That probably means it's Amor time. She's got 6 threes tonight. Eck is 1 for 7. Kayla King is 2 for 5.
And then if I'm Iowa, I'm looking to go long on the out of bounds if I can. That option could be available. Or they also could call timeout to advance the ball because they do have 2 timeouts left and not worry about going against full court pressure. So you have to make sure everybody's on the same page here. If Virginia Tech misses that, you call the timeout if that's what Lisa Bluder wants to do to advance the ball. They ran this set before.
Yep, direct into Kitley. Here's King, blocked! Iowa had it, and then 3 players managed to fumble that one out of bounds.
Ideally, you want Kayla King going right, not to her left. As the defense is on that side for a right-handed shooter. It's a great block, good defensive play.
Feuerbach got it. Amor doubled. Eck into the lane. They'll try for 2. Kitley gets it. And there's a timeout called by Iowa. And it's a 4-point lead.
At least you ran them off the three-point line. You'd rather let them have the 2 here. And it took almost 15 seconds off the clock.
Well, a big night for Caitlin Clark with the 41 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, Debbie.
Just another night in the gym for Caitlin Clark. Sees the floor, passes ahead in transition, can make every play, 3-level scoring, and she's a 3-level passer as well. Love the way she sees, advances, and makes her teammates better. Gives you easy scoring, drop in the bucket kind of plays if you just run the floor and play in space.
All right, so the Hawkeyes to inbound.
Again, 2 on Clark.
And again, she gets free. And there's the foul, and I think that's going to be number 5 on Carly Wenzel. So she will depart. The big thing, right, for Caitlin Clark, especially with some new players around her. You know, in a lot of ways, Sanano was a security blanket, you know, last year. They had that telepathy to just make plays together. And this team, its development this year, building chemistry around Caitlin, building trust in her to get them the ball in big situations to make plays, going to be critical if they're going to get back to the Final Four.
Well, I think Sanano's ability to screen is an underrated quality, and they're developing all that, but Sharon Goodman's a good screener, and this is a huge neutral site win.
Amor will get up the shot and knock it down, and she's got 31.
Hold on now.
Hold on now. 5.6 to go, and that is the final Iowa timeout.
How good is Georgia Amor? We've seen 2 excellent guards going at it. Incredible shot makers here in the clutch.
That's her 7th triple of the night. And now if you're Iowa, you can't call a timeout. You've got to get the ball in bounds.
She's got that cramp in that calf. Look at the intensity, the eyes of Georgia Amor in this situation right here. Focused on what Kenny Brooks. Well, you got to... I mean, you've been putting 2 on Caitlin and it's not working, right? So I'd go back to maybe changing it up, put somebody on the ball now and just try to guard her with 1.
See if you can take away the inbounder's vision a little bit better.
Yeah, maybe get a tip or a deflection that will allow you to get a 3. You know, you've got time. If you can get a steal here, you've got 4 or 5 dribbles, probably 4, to get into range.
You got a pretty good dribbler right there, with pretty good range.
Going back to the stack.
No timeouts, Iowa. All kinds of traffic, and they will get it into Clark, who will go back to the free throw line, where she is 12 of 15 tonight. And the Hokies need her to miss.
Now, that's what you call cutting hard. Playing through a little contact. What a treat this has been, right?
She can ice this one.
Oh, left the door open.
Two-possession game. Amor off the mark, and the Iowa Hawkeyes win it. 80-76, your final score. And a big night for Caitlin Clark. 44 points. And a pair of teams that were at the Final Four a year ago, looking like they might just be ready for another run this season.